I got my coffee. I'm having a chai tea latte with an ad shot. I work at Starbucks, and since this whole coronavirus thing is going on, I'm getting paid for work that I'm actually not doing. So they're paying me to stay home, which is a huge blessing. I know not everybody has that opportunity. But you also they upgraded, so normally you get a discount when you're not working on drinks or at work, and it's 30% off, I think, 25% off. But they're giving everyone free drinks now, so I've been going every day and getting free drinks. But I have my little notebook here, so if you see me looking down, that's what I'm looking at. But let's just hop right into it. So for the first note that I have, it's try everything that you're interested in before you decide. So when you're young, I feel like it's easy to be okay, I want to do this. I want to do this, and that's all I want to do, and it's hard because a lot of people are, narrow-minded. They feel like no one can tell them what they're doing is maybe not something that's going to be the best for them. Not that anyone's input should change your mind, but I definitely think that you should try everything that you're interested in. So when I was in high school, I was okay, I don't know what I want to do in college. I don't even know if I'm going to go to college. And I feel like that's something that I'm actually grateful for now. When I was in high school, I was super insecure about that because I had so many friends that were great at school, and they just I felt like they knew exactly what they were gonna do, and I didn't feel that way. I felt scared when I graduated, what am I gonna do? I'm not gonna have a good job. And the older I get, the more I realize that's pretty much everybody's situation. But I had in mind wanting to do personal training, and I actually did get my certification. I worked at a gym for a while, and I was okay, this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a fitness influencer. And the more that I was in that environment, I realized that that's just not something I'd want to do. A gym environment is it's great, it's a good way to have a healthy lifestyle, but it's just very to me, I had a weird experience where I worked with a manager, and he was super creepy. And then I just realized from all the other female coworkers I had, it's a very this sounds so weird, and any girls that work at gyms know what I'm saying, but it's kind of a perverted world, the fitness influencer lifestyle. I feel it's just very very skewed towards women, just to be promiscuous, and I didn't like that. I'm not saying that everything is like that, but it was just something I wasn't comfortable with, and I didn't want to be in that setting for the rest of my life. And then when I graduated, I was okay, I was super motivated to go to college when I first graduated from high school. So I was okay, I'm going to go to community college. I'm going to go through the EOPS program that we had, and I'll be able to go to college for 2 years for free to get my general education out of the way. And I was that's awesome. And when I worked at that gym, I had met a couple people that actually worked at the local junior college in my city called Crafton Hills. And one of them was a chemist who makes all the chemicals for the science department. And then I actually met my friend Sam, and I haven't seen him in so long because I used to open the gym, and he'd be there at 4 a.m. or 3:45 a.m. when I'd get there in the morning. And he gave me free anatomy books, and was just a really good mentor during that time in my life when I was figuring out if that's really what I wanted to do. So he was the head of the entire science department. So he was really giving me great advice, and I felt so motivated to go to school, and not only to just stop at physical training, but I was maybe I want to maybe I want to work in a doctor's office with patients, more one-on-one connection, helping people get diagnosed and help them solve a problem in their life that they cannot solve on their own. Because another thing for me is I have to be in a job where I feel I'm helping someone, because if I don't have that interaction, it's just not satisfying to me, and I think that's super important. So then I went to school, I went to college, and I took one math class. And obviously if you want to, and I wanted to be a PA, I don't think I said that, which is a physician's assistant, which is a step down from a doctor's. But if you don't know, mostly PAs in doctors' offices, they pretty much they don't run the show, but oftentimes there are more PAs than doctors. So they have a huge workload. They're almost doing as much as a doctor. It is still a master's program, but obviously if you're a doctor, you're going to have to do more schooling. But anyways, I took one math class, and it was Intro to Statistics and Probability, and I struggled so much. And like even in high school, like I was not a fan of math classes. I always struggled. I had to get a tutor. My junior year and my sophomore year and my junior year, I had a tutor in math, and I just realized like I had to talk to my counselor like in the EOPS system, and it was cool because I was like blessed to have really good counselors that were like literally there for me at like all hours of the day. And they would give you like the department that was in, excuse me, would even like give you food like if you needed it. So they were just like an amazing system to go through at my junior college. And I just sat down with my counselor and I was like, I don't think that like this is the job for me. Like I can't even pass this math class. And I just like told her, I was like, I don't think that I can do this. Like I really am struggling. Like, and for me, I don't want to put myself in a position where I know I'm going to struggle. And I think struggling is great, like for growth, but as long as like I'm struggling and I'm not enjoying it at all, like why would I want to pursue that? You know, like I don't want to do something that is stressing me out like night and day. Like I would literally do like 6 hours of math homework a day taking this class. And I was just part-time in college. Like I was taking 15 credits, 16 credits, and I was working too. So like out of the entire day, which I went to school every single day. I actually, you know what, I don't even think that's part-time. Is that full-time? I think it's full-time. Anyways, I was going and I was working and I was going to school, and I was like having to find times during the day that I didn't need to be doing homework, so like late at night or like super early in the morning. And I wasn't enjoying it at all. So that's why I say try everything you're interested in, because like a lot of people don't realize that what they want to do in life, like they might not actually be like equipped to do that job. So I wanted to be like a trainer. I tried that. I was like, okay, this isn't like the environment I want to be in. And then I was like, maybe I want to go above that and be a PA. And then I realized that's just like schooling is not something that I enjoy. I didn't like it in high school, and I didn't like it in college for sure. And I had like a really bad math teacher too. That could have been part of the reason why. He had a really thick like Hispanic accent, and he talked super fast, and like I remember taking that class. There was probably like 36 kids in that class. By the end of the semester, the last final we took, there was probably only 11 kids in that class. So people were dropping like left and right out of this class. So then I thought, you know, what is something that I am gonna love doing? Because I was like, I don't know, like I really don't know. And then I just started to realize like this is not for me, and that's why I recommend trying everything before you commit, because if you don't know what you're getting yourself into and then like, you know, you're doing the job, you're probably gonna hate it. Like once you actually, if you end up going through with that, you're not gonna enjoy it at all. Okay, so my second tip is talking to somebody that is already in that job field, whether it's the same exact job or like a job that coincides with that job. And again, like with what I was talking about before this, the first point, I had met two people in that area of work that I really thought like they gave me such good advice, and I am really actually glad that I talked to them and that I like created a friendship with them. And I guess initially I thought like, you know, talking to them, I was like, okay, like I'm going to do this. Even though that didn't work out, like I'm so glad that I talked to them, because they helped me get information about what, you know, what tools and resources were going to help me in school. They talked about, you know, what it's going to take to get there. And although like at the end of the day, I didn't end up doing that or like going through and trying to be a PA, like talking to them was the most like comforting thing that you can do, because when you talk to somebody that has been in that field or gone to school as long as your job needs, like you start to really like get real with what you're doing, if that makes sense. I don't know if you guys can get that, but like it becomes something that like is more understandable, I guess, because I think a lot of kids too, like that I went to school with, they're like, oh, I want to do this or I want to do that, and then they get there and they have no idea what the actual job is like. They don't know anything about like, you know, the credits that they have to take to get there, or like what it's actually going to take to get there. And sorry, there's something in my eye. And I feel like that's a huge like downfall of people choosing jobs that they don't really know like the full, description of that job. So talk to people that are in that field, whether it's through social media or in person. And I think it helps to go in person to where you'd like to work, because people aren't going to be mad if you're asking them like, oh, like, do you like your job? Like, most likely if you talk to somebody that's in your area of work or expertise or whatever it is that you're into, they're going to be happy to share their advice with you, because obviously they're doing that job, they like it, hopefully. So just talk to somebody that has experience in what you're looking to go into. So, this third tip, I think is the most important one, like overall, because I'll just tell you what it is first. It's assessing the life or type of life that you want to live and how expensive or little that it's going to cost. So what I mean by this is a lot of people, have in mind like they want to have a big house and they want to have a really nice car and they want to go on vacations. Like, I feel like especially with social media nowadays, it is so easy to want to have this like huge luxurious lifestyle, and if your job, like if you choose a job that is not going to be able to make you a lot of money, you're never going to be satisfied if you want all of those things, like actually, like in your heart, if you want that and you're choosing to be like, my mom's a teacher and so I know teachers don't make a lot, but like if you own like a Lamborghini and like a mansion, like you can't be a teacher, like maybe if you're like an 80-year-old professor at like, Harvard that's been doing this for his entire life, they may make that much, I don't know, but I think it's really like good to be real with yourself and be like, okay, like what do I realistically want in life and what am I gonna have to do to be able to make that much money? So like for me, I know that I want a nice car. I want to get a Jeep one day and be able to like trick it out and put like big ass tires on it and stuff. And I want to be able to like have fun and stuff like that. I want to be able to go on vacations. I want to travel. That's one of the biggest things that I want to be able to do in life, is explore the entire earth, and go see what other cultures have to offer. And I want a beautiful home. I want to be able to, decorate the inside of a house, maybe even remodel the inside of a house one day. And I think that's important for people to actually look at and assess, is because you have to pick a job that's going to maintain the type of lifestyle you want. So if you're making, let's just say, I think like the median income in California is only like $45,000. Like, I don't think it's that much. Yeah, I think it's probably around there. I don't know. I'll have to do more research on that. But let's say you make $50,000 a year, but you live in California, and California is by far one of the most expensive states to live in. You get taxed up the yin-yang for anything, for a car, for a house, insurance is so expensive here. At one point, my family thought about moving out of the state because of how expensive it was. Like, it's ridiculous. So you're making $50,000 in California, and you want to have a big, huge house, and you want to have a nice car. You are not going to be able to do that. I'm so sorry if you think that you can, making that much money, but that is impossible. So figure out what interests you and then look into that and see what types of jobs you could do doing maybe that exact thing, or maybe something that's very, very similar. You may find out that something that is similar to the job you have in mind may make way more money. So like, say you want to be like a videographer, and you're like, okay, I'm just gonna make YouTube videos. That's not gonna make you a lot of money, but if you're like, okay, I'm gonna be a videographer and I'm going to take this and I'm gonna go to film school and I'm gonna learn how to make movies. Okay, that's like a completely different pay grade, that's a different like amount of schooling you're gonna have to do, but I mean really, you're gonna be probably doing something that is even better than you originally had in mind, and you're gonna be making a lot of money because it's in a different industry. You have better connections, you have a better environment and more people to network with. So I definitely would say assess like the type of life you want and then figure out how you're going to be able to pay for that in whichever state you live in, or even if you want to move, just make sure that like you account for how expensive it is to live where you want to live, to buy the things you want to buy, because you want to be satisfied at the end of the day. Alright, so these next 2 points, it's going to be 4 and 5. I'm just going to combine them together so this video doesn't get too long. But 4 is going to be thinking about what fulfills your heart and what you desire. So if you are somebody that is okay with working with, just by yourself, that's awesome. Make sure that you can find a job that you can do that, so you're not getting annoyed with all the 50 other people that work in the cubicles next to you or something. I don't know, that's just a funny example. But like me, if you're somebody that like I know that I could never have a job where I was sitting at a desk all day. I was just, not talking to hardly anyone. Like, I love talking to people. Like, every job that I've had. So I started working when I was 15. I hostessed, talking to every single customer that walks in the door, asking how their day is, asking what they're doing for the weekend, because I just did that like on the weekends when I was 15, because I was in like sports and school, obviously. I couldn't drive, so my parents had to take me. And then I got another job as a server and a hostess, and then I worked at In-N-Out. All of those jobs are jobs where I get to interact with people every single day, and I'm going to have the opportunity to make them smile and make them laugh and crack a joke and just like see somebody have joy on their face. That's something that like I would never be able to like, it sounds weird, but like I couldn't live with a job that didn't do that, because like I just like talking to people and I'm very bubbly. Like, when I first started dating my boyfriend, he told me I was like too nice, which is funny because I definitely understand what he's saying now, but like I'm the type of person to like just talk to anyone and everyone, like doesn't matter who you are, like I will sit down and have a conversation with you. So I know I have to have a job where I can interact with someone. Like I have to be able to talk to someone, like, and it sounds silly, but like I really do like making other people like smile. Like I do like to make people, if I tell someone, so I work at Starbucks now, so if someone's coming through the drive-thru and like, you can tell when someone's having a bad day, especially as a customer service person or as somebody that handles food, because for some reason people feel like they can be so rude to you for no reason, and they feel like they can just like give you sass and like throw attitude. But like for me, if I see that, like I'm going to be extra nice to someone, like I'm going to try and make their day. So that's just like something that fulfills me, is being able to make a positive impact on somebody's, day or even life. You never know how that could affect someone. And the next one is be realistic about your faults and weaknesses. So like I said with the first point is, I know I can't have a job that's going to require calculus and any sort of like crazy heavy math. I know that I can't do that. I'm just not going to play around and be like, yeah, I'm going to try my hardest. No, if I'm using that in like everyday situations, which I'm sure doctors probably do, I don't know, I know that I'm not going to be able to do that. Like there's no way that I could do that at all. Also, something like that could be a weakness for you is like even workload. So do you like I don't know, this is just an example that came to my mind. Do you like working like with your hands? Like if you don't like working with your hands, you're obviously not going to be like a construction worker. So just like knowing what you can do and can't do. Like if you're not good at communicating with people, obviously you're not going to work at Target where you're checking people out and having to talk to them while you're checking out their 1,000 items. So if you're like antisocial, don't do something that's a super social job. If you are, if you get anxiety during like super big busy times, don't work on Black Friday, like it's just, you got to know yourself well enough to pick a job that you're going to be satisfied in and that's not going to just bring you down as a person or like stress you out. And every job's going to stress you out regardless, that's just a fact of life. But don't put yourself in a situation where you're picking a job that you're going to hate every single day. I keep putting my drink like really far away. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so anyways, I have 2 more points left and then we're gonna wrap this up. But what even number are we on at this point? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, number 6 is don't be afraid to fail or start something new. So I think this is really important because a lot of times there's outside pressure from either family or significant others or, whatever that outside pressure may be, to stick to the same thing and to not even give up when you're not enjoying it. But I think that is like the wrong thing to do, because there's so many people out there that have jobs that just because they felt like they had to get a job, like they hate it. Like they hate it. It makes them miserable. And I feel like that is such a bad trail to go down, because if you are miserable with what you're doing, you're probably taking that stress and putting it on the people that you love. You're probably letting it affect your relationships. And I feel like stuff that is like that big of a burden, like if you choose to do something that you don't love, like I feel like that bleeds into all other aspects of your life, whether that's relationships, family, physical health, especially if you have a job that you don't like. A lot of people eat emotionally, and they're going to gain weight, or they're going to lose weight. So I think it's really important, especially if you are young, to not be afraid to fail at something, and to not be afraid to make the mistakes of choosing something that you thought would, be like your everything. Like I know some people that are in school now and they hate it so much. Like they freaking hate it. Like they don't like it at all. They're always complaining about it. And not only is that annoying, but like I don't know if they're going to like their actual job, because, this is prepping you for something that you're going to do one day. So if it is anything like what you're doing now, you may not like it when you're doing it. And I think like the biggest misconception with failing is like having somebody like judge you for like not sticking to something. So I like switched around a lot when I was like between the ages of 17 and 18, like what I thought I was going to do with my career. And like I am very vocal about what I do. So like if I'm like pumped about something, I'm going to be like, yeah, like I'm doing this and I'm going to, this is going to be my job and it's going to be awesome. And like I remember one time I was at the gym and I had somebody come up to me and like ask me what I was doing. And I was like, oh yeah, like, and this was when I first started, like when I had decided like this is what I'm going to do. I was like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna start a clothing store. I've been planning for like months already. And like this person was not even like happy for me. They were like, oh, like I thought you were gonna do this or that. And they were like, yeah, I feel like every time I talk to you, like you have something different you're doing. And I don't think they meant that out of like being harsh or like being rude. But like I did take that kind of like personally, because I was like, well, I guess people like are judging me for what I'm doing or not doing. But I am glad that I did that, because had I stuck to something that I wouldn't have enjoyed, I know that I would not be happy doing it. And that's why I encourage you to like take the chance and fail at something, because if you fail at it, at least you know it's not for you, and you will never know if something's not for you if you don't try it. So that's why you should try everything as well. And don't be afraid of letting other people down, because at the end of the day, like that is your decision to make. And you can live your life to please other people, but please don't live your life to please other people. Like that is so stressful. I know how that is. Like I feel like a lot of people like have judged me in my lifetime for decisions that like I have made, and I used to let it like bother me a lot, like really, really bad, to the point where I would get like so insecure about myself. But like that is the last thing that you should care about. Like I'm sorry, but if there's someone in your life that is judging you that hard, like they probably don't belong in your life in the first place. So don't listen to outside people's opinion. I mean, listen to their opinion, but don't take it, to heart. And if you know you're not going to be happy doing it, then you shouldn't be doing it in the first place, because deep down in your heart, you're going to know if it's the right thing for you or if it's not. Because I can guarantee once you figure out what you want to do, you're going to know. Like it's going to feel right to you, and you're going to enjoy it. You're going to love it. You're going to find a way to, enjoy doing it every single day. And that's how you know, like, this is what you should be doing. And then the last thing is find out how to do it. So once I actually dropped out of college after the first semester, and I was like scared to do that, because that's just what everyone is doing. Like everyone, when you graduate, is either starting working right away, which is, in my town, that's actually a lot of people, because it's a small town, so they go into like labor, like construction, or like directly going into firefighting or being a police officer. But pretty much everyone else is going to college. I don't know that many people that I went to high school with that like really personally that aren't in college or like working for their career. So when I dropped out of college because I knew that I didn't like high school. I hated high school. I did not like high school at all. I didn't like the social aspect of it. I didn't like the drama. We didn't have, in my opinion, we didn't have that great of teachers at my school. I mean, there are good teachers, but I just feel like our education system was like really poor, like very not good at all. Like the investments weren't made into certain things that I really think they should be in our city. Like I think education should be the highest thing in any city because those kids are going to be, you know, people that are working in your city. So I don't know, I just didn't like it. And then I went to college and I was like, this is going to be my thing. Like, this is it. Like, I'm going to get good at school. I'm going to focus. I'm going to get straight A's. I'm going to get an internship. And I knew in my heart that that was not the thing that I was going to be doing and it wasn't going to make me happy. So when I dropped out of college, I was like, okay, what am I going to do that is going to satisfy me? What's going to make me happy? What's going to, you know, I had this checklist of things that I had that I needed to be able to do with my job. And then as soon as I, you know, made that checklist, I was like, okay. I was like, how am I going to execute this? How am I going to be able to find a job where I can do all of these things? And then the more and more you look into it and the more you look at the things in your life that you enjoy, if you want to do something and you know, like, okay, I'm good at all these things, I love all of these things, if you're determined enough to make that into a job, I 100% believe that you can do it. And that's how I decided to start a clothing store because I love photography. That's why I got this video camera, a regular camera, and I'm taking videos with it because I love taking pictures. Me and my best friend Abigail have been friends for 4 years now, and our first year of being friends, her mom took me to Chico, California, which is in Northern California. Most beautiful place I've ever seen. So green. There's a river that runs through the town. I fell in love with taking pictures there, and her mom had a really nice camera. What else do I love? I love shopping. I love clothes. I love buying clothes, and I love, you know, the bohemian lifestyle, or not lifestyle. Change that. I love the bohemian look. I love being able to be comfortable in clothes that I like. And the one thing that I noticed that I had to have control over was being able to make my own amount of income. And what I mean by that is I can control how much money I make. I don't want to have a job where there's a limit of how much money that I can make because in America, I feel like we are so blessed to be able to live in a country where you can start your own business, you can incorporate that business, you can hire employees, you can get a storefront, you can get online sales, you can get, you know, physical sales from a store you own, you can expand, you can sell that business one day and make a huge amount of money if you do it the right way and have a good business plan. You can open it up in different cities, and like that is something that is so exciting to me because there is no limit. Like unless you limit yourself, no one is holding you back from creating a huge amount of income and from touching other people's lives, from being able to, you know, create a platform that is going to be able to hopefully one day inspire thousands of people to do the same thing. So I'm getting like really carried away because I'm super passionate about that, and I'm going to make my next video about that. And kind of give you guys like a little insight as to what I've been planning for like the last like more than half a year now. But yeah, those are my tips on figuring out your dream job, and I hope that you guys got something from this and that this inspires you to follow what your heart desires and what you know that you deserve in life, because I don't think anybody knows what you want other than you, and you need to be able to sit down with yourself and be real with yourself and be like, what am I going to do to enjoy my job? And like, some of you guys may think like, oh, this is like not that big of a deal, but like your job is your job for the rest of your life. Like, yeah, you can switch it up if you want here and there if you're like an entrepreneur, but if you want a job that's going to be like the same thing for the rest of your life, like make sure you enjoy it. Like make sure it's something that you're going to be super proud of, super happy with. And yeah, but I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, please leave a comment. Go ahead and follow me on all my social media accounts. And yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed this. Feel free to subscribe and turn on the notification buttons. I will be trying to post 2 times a week. I'm really shooting for that. Hopefully during quarantine I'll be able to post 3 times a week. I'm really going to try and shoot for 3, but I'm going to say 2 just to stay safe. But yeah, again, my name is Sierra. Hope you guys have a great day, and thanks for watching.